did excellent work. I have called in a conclave, and it will take place in a day, and use the time to rest.
When I feel the need to relax, I prefer taking a stroll or spending time in the baths. And I doubt there are many men or women who would find my way of living attractive.
Now, come on, just a little to the left and... Blasted blazes! You are really starting to annoy me, you know that? Oh, now look at that. A visitor. Great. Just great. What do you want? Are you here because of the placard? Oh, great. And here I thought someone had actually read it. But no, if it isn't about mine song and fair ladies, people just don't care. I'm looking for a helping hand, an adventurer. Someone willing to take over a very important task for Horst and me. Yes, Horst. And no, he is not my imaginary friend, but this gorgeous example of Enderalian metallurgy and Starling ingeniousness right beside me. My personal centurion, and soon my new body. Yes, steel instead of flesh, energy instead of blood. Away with this useless shell and its pathetic fugacity. In Horst's body, I will live on forever. Wouldn't understand this even if you'd been my apprentice for 15 years. If it helps you, just imagine that I transfer my consciousness, my soul, into Horst's body. And by doing this, I become him. Apotheosis, that's what the scholars from Kyra call it. Man's ascent to something higher. A deity, you could say. The only logical response to current events, by the way. Ah, red madness, death of the Lightborn. You don't need to be one of those keepers to see something is happening in this world. It's going south, and other than the Holy Order and his new Nehramese magically gifted pals I am no friend of, trying to pray away such threats, we need to change humanity. The Apotheosis, the overcoming of our fleshly nature, is the first step. Unfortunately, I seem to be the only one who sees it that way. But hey, that's their choice. Oh, with this and that, errands, tasks your rough hands are better suited for than mine. But first, we need to find my assistant Pahtira. She's gone missing. Well, I suppose she took a flying unicorn to old Aranath. I don't know, sod it, else I wouldn't ask you for your help, would I? For his completion, Horst is asking something important. Some kind of steering unit, you might call it. Pahtira and I have done research and found out that Dalmarek and his cohorts in Thalgard worked on a machine there that might employ a similar mechanism. Even though I had strongly spoken out in favor of an armed escort to send with her, Pahtira had insisted on going alone. And surprise, I haven't heard from her since. Something that makes it the ideal place to go if you're suicidal and you're looking for a quick way out. You're an outlander, aren't you? How can I explain that without going beyond the scope? Dalmarek. Does the name ring a bell? He was an arcanist who lived about 2,000 years ago. Back then, the Order planned to build a second great city here in Enderal, situated in a region we now call Goldenforst. But, as it turned out, the place was everything but a good choice for a settlement. No crops would grow there, and the water made the settlers sick. So 3 years after the founding of the first settlement, Malif, the Order forced the settlers to abandon the mission and return to Ark. But, as things are with vain personalities, Dalmarek, who had been in charge of the mission, didn't like that idea at all. Malif had been his dream, and so he wanted to hold on to it no matter what the price. One of his ways to do so was a device he called the Sun Wheel, an old Pyrean construction which was meant to make the barren lands fertile again. You can figure out the rest. One night there was a bright flash of light, and since then Thalgard has been contaminated. Apart from a few animals and the Sunborn, savages whose brains have been rotted by the green fog there, it's deserted. In the first few centuries to follow, the fog spread as far as Goldenforst, but by now it's receded from there. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. But as I said, she insisted. You know, she's of the lone wolfish type, if you get what I mean. Here, this is the place where Pahtira said she would set up her camp. From here, she planned to go explore the nearby ruins. And please don't die, else I have no idea how to get Horst up and running.
You there. You gotta help me. Get me out of here. Oh, we don't have time for talking. Find the key and get me out of here. You sure showed those bastards who's boss. Good work. Who sent you? I can hardly imagine you came here by chance. Oh, well, what didn't happen? If Dalteroin sent you, I take it you know why I'm here. So here's the short version. I managed to find the steering unit for that machine, but when I got back, I got ambushed by these arseholes, highwaymen. They must have known I was working for Terowin, and that he'd pay quite a ransom for me. Otherwise, I'm sure they would have slit my throat right open. Huh, pity. They didn't count on you coming. No, of course not. They took it with them. My money would be in their hideout, Fortress Sourcewatch, not far from here. You sure look like you can handle yourself in a fight. So, what do you think about going in there and getting back the unit for us? I'd help you, but those bastards got me good before they locked me in that cage. I need to see an apothecary as soon as possible. Good. Thanks again for helping. I appreciate it. Show those pricks who's boss. I'll see you back in Ark.
Well, girl, it's not as if I said we'd need an escort from the beginning. You really were lucky. I hope you know that.
Thanks for reminding me. Now look at that, talking of the Black Guardian.
There you are! Good to see you back in one piece. Pahtira told me everything. Had I known you'd be up against an entire gang of highwaymen, I would have sent reinforcements. But it seems you really do know how to handle yourself in a fight. Did you find the steering unit? Splendid, that's it! Good work, here's your pay. And since you're here already, there is something else you might assist us with, and it will be just as lucrative. Energy. Horst's frame might be complete, but he still lacks a source of energy. One that doesn't exhaust itself. Similar to Pyrean crystals, only much more resourceful. Evidently, the only ones capable of creating something as genial are Starling tinkerers. The only problem is that the plans for such an energy core have been lost for centuries now, as have its prototypes. However, Agnod might still have one.
Just cut to the chase, will you, Master? Agnod is an old starship that was constructed centuries ago in Anku, the great Starling city on Nerim. The spearhead of Starling craft built to reclaim the forgotten homeland, blah blah blah, and so on and so forth. It crashed on the first test flight.
In which it got from Nerim to as far as Enderal within a day's travel. A little more respect, please, Pahtira. Anyway, fact is, until now, everybody believed the ship had crashed right into the Red Sea, a few miles before the Sun Coast. It didn't. It lies buried in the Enderalian Frostcliff Glacier.
I have already scouted the perimeter. It is completely enclosed with ice. But with an aptitude, one can find a way in. The energy core we need is, where else could it be? In the heart of the ship, the generator room. And this is where you come in. I can get inside by myself, but I bet my left hand that the Tinkerers have come up with a whole arsenal of nasty defense mechanisms to process any intruders into dust, bones, or puddles of flesh. I will go on ahead and try to deactivate as many traps as possible, but I might still need your help getting to the core. You have a map, don't you? Here, this is where you should find the ship.
And as I said, find us the core and your payment will be baronial. Best you get going as soon as possible. In the meantime, I will take a look at the steering unit.
I'll see you in Agnod. As I said, I'll try to deactivate as many of the defense mechanisms as possible. But still, you should prepare for resistance.
Huh? Well, you should go to Agnod and meet Pahtira. We need this energy core.
Well, well, you sure did take your time, didn't you? So, are you ready? The energy core is, as expected, still intact, but we'll need some cleverness to get to it. I said I'll see what I can do, and that I did. I deactivated most of the traps, and if I hadn't done that, you probably wouldn't be here anymore. As for those Centurions, nothing I can do about them. Sorry. Well, I can only speculate, but Starling technology is as genial as it is complex. They say that building Agnod took about 7 decades, and then, phew, just like that, a misplaced cog and the whole thing goes to shit. Must have been pretty frustrating for the engineers. That's pretty easy. Well, that is if you know what you're doing. We need to deactivate the energy current that surrounds the core. If we don't do that, anyone who touches the core will be turned to roast beef in seconds. So, this is what we'll do. You open the valves, and I control the flushing of energy. There are 4 valves in total. Open them all. What is it? Open the valves. Trick. Now, take the core. Must have hurt, didn't it? Sorry, this isn't personal, but I saw how you can fight, and with what I plan to do, I can't afford any extra risks. There's no way I can let that old fool have the machine. It is a masterpiece, probably the greatest Starling achievement since they built the ship. And what does he do? He calls it horsed and treats it like a bloody pet. Why the heck do geniuses always need to be lunatics as well? Teruin is a damn fine tinkerer, but he doesn't even remotely understand the potential of this apotheosis. He sees the Centurion as some kind of crutch with which he can prolong his life. That's just pathetic. Immortality. Just think what you could do with it in the right hands. I will lead my people, the Starlings, back to their old glory. It's for the greater good. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Please, Pahtira, this is madness! You don't know what you're doing there!
Oh, believe me, I do. More than you ever did. Do you even realize how pathetic you are, Master? You... Ugh, great. I knew I shouldn't have taken chances.
You, by the ancient fathers, help me! Pahtira, she controls him! You need to stop her!
I think she figured that out by herself, don't you? I guess it's time to test what this thing can do.
By the stars! This was bloody unnecessary! Why did she do that? I just don't get it. Dead? No, but inactive. Her consciousness is still linked to Horst, his soul, if you will. She did it. She actually did it. Foolish girl. She always was too impulsive. Lead our people back to glory? By the stars, how stupid can a person be? We are Starlings, damn it, not bloody imperialists. We live to quest, to fulfill the prophecies, not to... You see, this is what happens when a juvenile zeal meets powerful technology. She was always snappy, but I really didn't see that coming. Anyway, I suppose I have to do it all again. Disassemble Horst, retrieve his consciousness core, and then put him back together. Then I'll think about what to do with Pahtira. Maybe I'll transfer her into something else. I've always wanted a talking paperweight. Just a joke. course, I'm not a murderer, but when that time comes, I will make sure to have a dozen guards beside me. She can look forward to some nice months in prison, and then she can go look for another master. Stupid girl. So much potential wasted. Heh. But, save for the drama, you did a good job. I now have all that I need, and Pahtira proved that the transfer, the Apotheosis, is possible. In that regard, thank you. You will get your reward and Pahtira's share of it too. Here, take this key. Back in the lobby, you'll find a small casket, right beside the fireplace. What's in there is yours. Again, thank you.